Hey yo, this is Koi. Today I have the NF Acous NA20. This was a unit sent out by NF Acous for review, but all thoughts and opinions are my own. This is a one dynamic driver IEM that cost $120 or more depending on your region. This is the box that it comes in and opens like a book with the user manual and case on the left and the IEM and ear tips on the right. This is all you get inside with one set of silicone ear tips, the case, 1/4-inch adapter, cable, and the IEM. The zipper case perfectly fits the IEMs and is a nice pocketable size. The design on the NA20 is nothing interesting. It has a semi-transparent brown plastic shell design with some gold accents and the NF Acous logo on it. The fit and comfort on the NA20 is actually really nice. The small plastic shell works really well for my ear, and I can wear this to sleep comfortably and sometimes wake up with them still in my ears. Here's a side-by-side comparison with the Defiant. As you can see, the NA20 is a lot smaller compared to something like the Defiant. The cable on the NA20 comes in 3.5mm and QDC style 2-pin connector. The cable is a bit thin, but is extremely soft and feels really nice to use. Here is the frequency response of the NA20. As you can see, it is very V-shaped with a lot of bass and treble emphasis. To me, it is too V-shaped for my liking. The bass are quite nice, but leans a bit bright and has some harshness in the treble. Starting with the bass, this is the best part about the NA20 for me. There is a good quantity of mid-bass and sub-bass, making it very engaging on bassy tracks. The driver quality is also quite nice, giving plenty of bass texture and sub-bass rumble for a fun listening experience. The mids on the NA20 feels a bit scooped because of the V-shaped tuning. Vocals lack a bit of body and can be shouty on song because of the huge rise in the upper mids. For example, 2002 by Anne Marie. Originally, her voice is already on the shouty side. On the NA20, it just sounds too shouty and spicy. The NA20 is not something I would recommend for orchestral music, as all the instruments that live in the mid-range feels recessed and unnatural. The treble on the NA20 is a bit bright, even with the amount of bass that it has to balance out the treble. Unless you're someone who really likes a bright sound or has hearing loss in the treble region, I cannot say that the treble will be a pleasant experience on the NA20. From my listening, the treble is not the smoothest and can sound a bit tinny. This can make vocals sound sibilant and you will hear a lot of S and Ts sound. Hi-hats can also feel very overwhelming and fatiguing. Luckily, I have found a solution to tame this trouble, and that is with the Asla Fomax ear tip. If you look at the graph, it tones down the treble a lot, making the NA20 more listenable for me. Obviously, this is not the best solution as the Fomax cost an extra $20, but I wanted to show the effect of the Fomax to show how much ear tip can change the sound of IEMs, and actually have an ear tip guide coming up where I will be comparing over 20 ear tips to help with your ear tip purchases. Moving on to technicalities and gaming, the details and resolution on the NA20 are about average for IEMs around $100. It has decent imaging and separation for a single dynamic driver, and the tuning on it is actually quite nice for competitive games. If we compare the graph of the Moondrop Race gaming EQ, for example, it actually has some similarities. From my testing, I quite enjoyed the NA20 for gaming. This sound signature makes it easy to hear footsteps and all the sound cues that are going on. Therefore, the NA20 gets 2 controllers for my gaming recommendation. For comparisons, let's start with another NF Acous. The NM20 is similar to the NA20 and is kind of the predecessor to the NA20 for monitoring use. The NM20 is even brighter and more spicy in the treble compared to the NA20 and is not something that I recommend for music listening. The EPZ Q5 Pro is also a single DD driver with a V-shaped sound signature. It is less V than the NA20 with less bass and less treble emphasis, which makes it a lot easier to listen to for me, but I still found the treble to be a bit bright on the Q5 Pro. The Juicier Defiant is a new $100 IEM that I feel like is a good benchmark for what you can get for $100 in the market today. In comparison to the Defiant, the NA20 has more bass, less mids, and a lot more treble. And overall, the Defiant is just more balanced for more genre of music. Personally, I feel like as a V-shaped IEM, the Q5 Pro is a lot easier to listen to and cheaper than the NA20. If a V-shaped sound signature doesn't sound like what you're looking for, the Defiant is probably a better choice for the price. Overall, the NF Acous NA20 is definitely not something made for everyone. It has an unconventional V-shaped sound signature that is very nice for the bass, but a majority of people is going to feel that the treble is a bit too much, therefore I cannot really recommend this. To quote a friend that also listened to the NA20, he said that it feels like the sound is being forced into your ears because of the shoutiness and the amount of treble. Therefore, I can only recommend this if you know for sure that you like an extremely V-shaped sound signature like this and can handle the treble. Unfortunately, the NA20 will not get a recommendation from me at $120, as there are better options out there for the price, like the Juicier Defiant or the RT T10 Pro. This has been Koi, thank you for watching, and see you next time.